Okay, so we were at the Beacon Bay Clinic. It's now 12 o'clock. We did do another little video just now from the car, so we have been out of the clinic for at least 15 minutes. We arrived at 8:15, which was a bit late. But generally, yeah, shame. Those poor people waiting and waiting and waiting. Sometimes the books get muddled up with the order that they've been put in. I mean, we think Tony was lucky to get seen
When I was.
when you were, yes, because we think some people who arrived before Tony haven't yet been seen, and that's not how it's supposed to work. It should be first come, first serve. We would be very upset if we came early and people who came after us were seeing the same, were here for the same reason. It does differentiate between mothers with babies, and it depends on who you're seeing. The doctor isn't here every time, and we did have a booking for the doctor, but still it's always a waiting game, and you like to be in order of when you arrived for whichever doctor or staff member you need to see that day. It absolutely sucks not having medical aid and not receiving quick medical help or time,
Timely assistance.
yes, timely assistance. We were here 5 weeks ago to see the doctor, or for me to get a repeat prescription on my anxiety and depression tablets. Luckily, I don't have to go to Cecilia Makawane Hospital in Dunsany every 6 months. I do go with Tony, but I don't have to go myself. Tony has to go because that's where he was, that's where he started, that's where he got his medication.
This clinic doesn't stock now.
Yeah, and this clinic doesn't stock that. But we go there every 6 months, and then every 2 months we get the medicine at Clicks, which is not too bad, because that's quite quick. There's not too much of a waiting time there. I don't have to go to Cecilia or have a 6 month. I was referred to a clinic by a private doctor who I went to when I had some money from my parents who have since died. But yes, we were here 5 weeks ago. I mean, even then, when we came to see the doctor, we had been here the week before, simply to wait for several hours to make a booking to see the doctor at another time, which was luckily a week later. So we've seen the doctor now, and the staff were going to, 5 weeks ago when we saw the doctor, the staff were going to contact us, phone us with a date to go to Frere Hospital for our eyes being seen to, or tested or helped, whatever. But a month went by and I was due back here to get more medication, and just from the staff, I didn't have to see the doctor. I had the doctor's prescription, and they hadn't yet made the booking, and they said we need to see the doctor. So then we came back today because the doctor wasn't there that day, and even if she was already booked full. So we came back today to finally get an appointment made for our eyes, which it's February now, and that eye appointment at Frere Hospital is March, April, May, 12, it's 15 months away. In May next year, that's when we will be going for our eyes to be tested and any help to be received, which probably wouldn't happen the same day. That might also be a long process. I think it was 3 years ago that my eyes were tested with my prescription glasses that I got about 10 years ago, that my dad gave me money for when he was still alive. And 3 years ago, when he had already passed, my mom still had some money before she passed, and she paid for my eye test at Specsavers and for my driver's license renewal. And my right eye failed. That was 3 years ago, and my eyes have been getting worse ever since. So I'm really hoping this all happens in time before my next driver's license renewal, which is probably 2 years away, or it will be way less when we do eventually see the eye doctor. But generally speaking, it's horrific. The waiting periods. I mean, even with what can you add to this? Oh,
Well,
look at that. I'm
my
pointing at the homeless guys. That's scary because I'm scared we're going to end up there too.
well,
Okay.
my driver's license needs to be renewed next year, I think, in June,
Oh,
and
wow.
my appointment is for
May.
May,
It's not going to be in time.
and it is very likely I may have to have surgery on both eyes.
Which is just,
Which,
wow.
yeah, that's going to happen.
One eye at a time?
One eye at a time. After each surgery, I would need to wear an eye cap for 4 to 6 weeks.
And this is going to
And
severely mess with our production of our craft products that we make to
well, already,
try and pay our rent on time,
yeah,
even though we're late
and
this month.
I'm already struggling with smaller things. If I don't have exactly the right light, I struggle with the finer detail. And yeah, when I look at our next apartment, then I'm just even more determined. You know, I need to produce things that I can work on and know what I'm doing. When
Yes?
threading beads, for instance, onto the copper wire, um, it used to be second nature. You know, I'd see the bead and I'd push the wire at it, and the bead would pop onto the wire. Whereas now, I see the bead, I know more or less where the wire is, and it's a matter of poking around, getting my fingers in there, and it's just taking so long to do things, and it's extremely frustrating.
This is now in addition to you having had to slow down because of your congestive heart failure.
The CHF predominantly affects me for outdoor work, for the woodwork, but there too, I need to do what I can with what I've got in the time that I've got, basically. Um, Not easy, um, and because I work outdoors and I don't really have a covered work area, I can't work if it's raining, and it just seems to be raining a lot lately, or miserable weather, where I'm going out and I'm working I would need to work in a wet area
With electricity, which
with power tools, which
you
is,
can't do that.
yeah, also not a good idea.
But okay, yeah. So, but generally, I'm speaking now about, for example, the waiting periods. These waiting periods. I mean, if we had medical aid, it would be awesome that we could go see the doctors, get done, and go back home and carry on working. It's amazing how often we have to go out to the clinic or a government hospital, and it takes the whole morning or the whole day, and we do take things worth to work on. Like I was making paper beads this morning, and Tony was working on a wooden game while we were sitting here waiting. But we need to be at home where we can work on the internet and
Use our tools.
use our tools. And so this takes up a lot of time. And it's really awkward also when they split us. I mean, we started coming to the Beacon Back Clinic together, and luckily the next few times that we came, it was together, and then eventually something went wrong along the way, and one of us got a different date, and so, but now we accompany each other. We never split from each other. We have anxiety and depression issues, and we do everything together, our anxiousness and depression increases tenfold if we're apart. I don't know how that sounds to people who don't understand anxiety and depression, but that's how it is for us. We need to be together all the time, not so?
Oh yes, oh yes. Yeah, if I could just add here, had we had medical aid or access to private medical care, we would probably have seen the ophthalmologist already. Um, Jerry would probably you'd probably had your new specs already,
Yeah,
and I would very likely have had my first surgery.
yeah. And it's not just our eyes that are giving us issues here. We have both got arthritis. I mean, I do go to Frere every 6 months for a checkup for the arthritis in my neck, in my hips, but generally they don't do anything. They, I don't know, they prescribe pain medication and that's it. They'll see me again in six months time. I don't think anything really can be done, but I mean, I can't afford to go to a chiropractor or a
Physiotherapist.
physiotherapist, which I think might help, or I don't know if there's any. I worry that something worse than arthritis is happening because my dad had Paget's disease, but that also couldn't really be helped. But I'm just afraid that there's something worse going to happen.
Yeah, one does like to know.
Yeah, and there too, the waiting period when I'm prescribed medication, then you have to go back every month. If I've got enough pain medication, I just don't go. I just don't go back because that's a whole day waiting to get your pain medication. Um, we we can't afford that. We can't afford to sit somewhere all day waiting for our pain medication. We need to be at home trying to work. So, yes, there are many different reasons for it absolutely sucking that we don't have medical aid. Well, basically, absolutely sucking that we don't earn enough, that we are financially struggling. It sucks big time. Um, yeah, so that was a bit of a rant and explanation and venting for today. And yeah, we still have to go and fetch
Books.
some books that somebody offered to give us, thank goodness, because we are running a bit low on our books. Some crochet wool or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So all things that we can use to try and make some money. We do sell pre-loved books that people give us on weekends, in addition to trying to sell our crafts. Um, yeah, so that's us about to leave the clinic, finally.